Have you ever promised yourself, tomorrow? Tomorrow you'll wake up early. Tomorrow you'll start exercising. Tomorrow you'll finally write that book. Tomorrow you'll launch your business. Tomorrow you'll become the person you've always imagined. But somehow, tomorrow keeps moving. Days become weeks. Weeks become months. Months become years. And one question quietly follows you everywhere. What's wrong with me? Maybe you've called yourself lazy. Maybe you've blamed your lack of discipline. Maybe you've spent hundreds of dollars on books, courses, videos, hoping that one day motivation will finally arrive. But what if the feeling you're waiting for was never supposed to come first? Stay with me, because one ordinary man spent 10 years waiting to feel motivated until a stranger asked him one question that completely rewrote his life.
Meet Ethan, 32 years old, bright, creative, curious, the kind of person everyone believed would become successful someday. He always had exciting ideas, a podcast, a coffee shop, an online business, learning Spanish, running a marathon, writing a novel. His notebook was overflowing with dreams. His browser had over 100 bookmarked articles titled, How to Start. Every January, he bought a new planner. Every Monday, he made a new schedule. Every night, he imagined the future version of himself, confident, healthy, successful. Then every morning, he hit snooze. Not because he didn't care, because he didn't feel ready. I just need motivation. That sentence became the soundtrack of his life. Years quietly passed. Friends started companies. Some got married. Others bought homes. His younger cousin became a manager. One afternoon, he attended a college reunion. Everyone looked older, but somehow more alive. People weren't talking about dreams anymore. They were talking about experiences, failures, lessons, businesses, children, trips, life. When someone finally asked, "So, Ethan, what have you been working on?" He smiled, laughed awkwardly, changed the subject. Driving home, the silence inside the car felt louder than the engine. For the first time, he admitted something to himself. I'm still introducing people to the person I hope to become, instead of the person I actually am. That sentence hurt, because it was true. A week later, his apartment elevator broke down. He had no choice but to climb 12 flights of stairs. Halfway up, he stopped to catch his breath. An older maintenance worker was slowly carrying a heavy toolbox upstairs. The old man smiled. Tough climb? Ethan laughed. Yeah, I should probably exercise more. The man nodded. You know, people think climbing gets easier because you get stronger. He paused. It's actually the opposite. Ethan frowned. What do you mean? You get stronger because you keep climbing. The sentence seemed simple, too simple, but somehow it stayed in Ethan's mind. The next morning, the old man was there again, sweeping leaves, whistling, completely relaxed. Ethan walked over. Can I ask you something? Sure. How do you stay motivated? The old man laughed so hard he nearly dropped the broom. Motivated? I almost never feel motivated. Ethan blinked. What? I just show up. When I was younger, I kept waiting to feel like working. It never happened. Then I discovered something. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. The old man handed Ethan a folded piece of paper. On it, only 3 words. 5 minutes only. Whatever dream you have, do it for 5 minutes. Then stop if you want. No pressure, no huge commitment, just 5 minutes. The next morning, Ethan sat in front of his laptop. He almost closed it. Then he remembered. 5 minutes. He wrote. Exactly 5 minutes. The next day, again. 5 minutes became 8, then 12, then 20. Without realizing it, he had written 30 pages. Something strange happened. Writing became easier. Then waking up became easier. Then exercising. then cooking healthy meals, then reading again. Nothing dramatic, no overnight transformation, just tiny victories, stacking together, like drops of water, filling a bucket. Months later, people started asking him, "What changed?" He smiled. "I stopped waiting to feel like doing things. I just started before my feelings agreed." Here's the truth. Motivation is one of the biggest lies we've been sold. We imagine successful people wake up inspired every morning. They don't. They wake up. They begin. Some days excited, some days exhausted, some days doubtful, but they begin anyway. Because they understand something most people never learn. Feelings follow action, not the reverse. Stop asking, "How do I become motivated?" Start asking, "What's one tiny action I can do in the next 5 minutes?" That's how lives change. Not through giant leaps, through ordinary actions, repeated on ordinary days. So before you watch another video, before you search for another productivity hack, before you promise yourself, tomorrow, pause. Look at the biggest dream you've been carrying. Now ask yourself one question. Can I give it 5 minutes? Not an hour. Not a perfect plan. Just 5 minutes. Because 5 minutes today is infinitely more powerful than another year of waiting. If this story reminded you of someone, share it with them. And in the comments, tell me one thing. What will you spend your first 5 minutes on today? Because your future might begin before this minute ends.